We have a bunch of these bank rockfish swimming around. Another single petrale. Wants its close-up.
Lots more singles.
Yep.
Do you know if that's a classic flatfish pose, the way they've got their tails kind of arched up?
No, but maybe it is for petrale. A lot of them will sit on their fins and lift their head, which you see the petrales doing slightly, that their head is up. There's a little space between it and the ground. There's two sort of close. But with the tail up, I haven't seen, so maybe it could be the structure too, that they're on some kind of rock. And there definitely is a lot of long noses that are close too. There's a long nose skate here. We just passed one.
Now I know I need to go and read up about skate reproduction. I've been looking into what makes a good spawning aggregation site, and a lot of literature comes from coral reefs. And they've done quite a lot of work showing that species will often select areas which are kind of convex, so kind of like a mounded shape, which is like this particular feature. And they think that they use these areas because of it kind of, the currents there help with the dispersal of their gametes. And sometimes you also do get mixed different species using the same site. So maybe this is an important area for the long-nosed skates as well.
Yeah, because there's definitely seems to be a higher abundance than I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, we'll know when somebody counts all the fish on transect. There's a Rex sole, something different.
Whoa. I like those because they're easy to ID. Oh, and a petrale. I'm pretty sure we saw slender sole here in 2018 as well.
It could be. It's definitely the depth that they are at. Hey, there's a coral on the right.
Hey.
Maybe. When we stopped for the scoop, there was a mushroom coral. Haven't seen much else. Just every once in a while you see one.
Yep. Plenty of urchins.
It would make sense if this area is trawled, though, that we're not going to see too many corals and sponges growing up. The big fin eel pout. There's two petrale on the right, close to each other.
That's pretty close. Lots of eel pout.
Yep. I only saw them in that one spot, though. On the right side, there's two petrale again, but not as close.
So frustrating. When we landed, there was literally like a pile of 5 or 6. So I was just, yeah.
Well, when we get to the hot spot,
yeah,
they will all be there.
Come on.
There's two together on the right side again, close.
Mm-hmm.
Audio check, 1, 2. This is Steven, the video engineer. I'm just chasing that echo a little bit still. Could I do a test? And Tom, could you mute your mic for a moment?
Roger that.
Check, check. 1, 2. Check, check. Okay, Tom, could you unmute your mic now?
It's unmuted.
Check, check. 1, 2. So the echo does seem to be coming from your microphone, so could you double check that you're not getting any audio from your computer at all? Or
Yeah, so I have two open. Each one is muted, and I'm running them off of a separate computer. So, and there's nothing on the computer I'm using that's open to any live stream. So I have no clue.
And are you listening to Shore and SPL?
I'm right now listening to SPL. That's it.
Okay. And what's your headphones microphone setup?
It's an inline microphone. I don't know, it's on the cable.
Okay.
The cord that goes to it.
All right, well, I'll keep I'll keep thinking, but thanks for checking.
Yeah, I'll keep it on mute when I'm not talking.
Okay, thanks for that. And it's not too, you know, it's not the worst, so don't worry about it. Don't stress it too much.
Well, I'm not hearing it, so I'm not stressing at all.
Okay, so we're just about at 1B, just kind of at last few steps in this direction. If I can zoom out on HYPACK a little bit, and I've got, unless we want to, explore around this area, we can head kind of in the general direction of 1C, going along this ridge on the way out, and then towards 1C.
I think it might be worth exploring a little bit around here, just because this should be kind of in the area where we were seeing most before, but we seem to have hit on instead a massive, a rather large school of rockfish.
Yeah.
Which ones are these, Tom?
These are all bank rockfish.
All banks. So I don't know how much leeway you've got with the position of the ship at the moment, but if we could explore around here.
Yeah, we can stop at any time. It's just completing a move now, and then kind of go through a tether length, or if you want, we can zigzag east and west or along the ridge, however you'd like to explore.
What do you think, Tom? Zigzag?
Yeah, I think a zigzag would be good because we have no idea. So looking around would probably be better.
I'll kind of zigzag roughly kind of east, northeast, and then northwest, and kind of zigzagging along in this area around this mound.
Yep.
Okay.
So our data from 2018, our AUV line, it was just one dive, so we have a single track line, and we know where the highest density was along that kind of north-south line, but we have no idea kind of east-west how far the petroli piles went in 2018.
Sure. Okay. Start with 100 meters at 300. Bridge nav.
Roger.
100 meters bearing 300. Thank you.
Well, see, that's the bank that I'm used to seeing on the AUV, where you have that really visible, like lighter lateral line. Not so much the vertical stripes. I guess it's they change color a little. I see one petroli sole swimming away from us.
Seems like the banks are stirring up the bottom, making it harder to see.
Mm. Feels a bit like panning for gold. Like we explore one way, and then if we stop seeing them, then we go back the other way and see if we start seeing more. We have a fairly short dive tonight, so limited time to try and
Well, here comes two
figure out.
close together.
Oh, yep.
Just let me know when you want to mark those as pairs.
Yep, thank you. I think as a rule of thumb, we were doing, if we saw more than 3, and if it was 2, if one was resting on the other, then it got counted.
Sure. You can see why there's trawling here. Certainly a lot of fish. Is that historically trawling activity, or is it still active today?
Yeah, it's historical, and they're doing some today, but there's only like one trawler, 1 or 2 out of Morro Bay, so it's very light lately.
Yep. So Melissa Holtuck, who is works for the Petrali stock assessment, was saying that one of the reasons we perhaps didn't see so many Petrali sole in 2005 was because trawling effort was more intense then, and what we might be seeing now is some recovery, so higher numbers.
Oh, we definitely have a lot of banks.
Yeah. So Tom, are the banks up in the water column during the day and just down on the bottom at night, or do they tend to hang out near the benthos?
Yeah, so they'll do both. They'll be near the benthos with some of them hanging above the bottom, some of them right on the bottom. Similar to split nose will do the same thing. They just kind of, you'll come on them and they'll be hovering head down for whatever reason right above the bottom. And then some will be sitting on the bottom. Like here you have, I don't know, every once in a while we get one off the bottom. But most of them are just sitting on the bottom and stirring it up like this.
Yep. Renato, how far have we come now since starting our zigzag?
We've come about 70 meters. On high pack here, I was thinking either the next wake we could go is kind of in a generally east direction, east, north, east, across this whole top here, if you want, and then we could always come down and do an X, or we could start from where we end up here and just go down. Just figuring you want to kind of cover all this ground over here.
I think going east sounds like a good move.
Sure, we'll start there. Got another 40 meters on this move.
Mm.
Seems like we've lost the petrale now. Haven't seen one for a while.
Yep. Yep. Tom, is there a big fishery for the bank rockfish? And are they one of those rockfish species that live for hundreds of years, or one of those species that tend to mature a bit earlier?
There is a good fishery for them up and down the coast because they are coast wide. As for the age, I'm thinking they're, and I can't remember, like 70 years maybe. I can look it up while we're cruising. Yeah.
For anyone tuning in, we're exploring a feature that is to the east of Santa Lucia Bank off the coast of California, and we are looking for aggregating petrale sole. The commercially important flatfish species occurs off the west coast, and we saw some interesting images from 2018 with these kind of stacks of petrale, which we think is part of their courtship behavior. So we're back trying to locate where these fish are aggregating. So doing a sort of search pattern for the highest densities of fish. At the moment, we seem to have come to the edge of the petrale sole, so we're going to be zigzagging back to the east shortly. More long nose skate.
Okay, that's the end of this move. Try going about 350 meters across this whole feature, the whole top of this feature at 080.
That sounds good.
Great.
And if after about 100 meters we notice the same kind of thing, or sort of 200 meters and it's sort of thinning out again, then we can always zigzag back early.
Sure, yeah, just call that out.
Yep.
Bridge nav. We'd like a step 350 meters, bearing 080. Thank you.
So looking up the maximum age of banks, the one thing I could find was 60 years. And there's a lot of banks here.
Very cool. Oh yeah.
Were there this many on your AUV survey?
No. We didn't see anything like this in the images.
Yeah, we've done ROV surveys out here too, and I haven't seen this many before. Like a stampede.
Yeah, they are very numerous.
Tom, I've got one more question for you. Do you have in-ear earbuds or over-ear headphones?
Over-ear headphones.
All right, I'm stumped.
Do you want me to kill it and start it again?
Yeah, do you want to try, well, you talking about V-Link?
V-Link, yeah.
Yeah, sure, give it a shot.
Okay, I'm leaving, I'll be back.
Thanks.
Okay, here I am.
Check, check.
Is it any better?
Sounds
Check,
the same.
I'm talking. Well, that didn't help then. I'll keep looking around for things. Maybe I'll look in the settings, see if there's something duplicated.
I think you're hearing things, Steve.
No,
Yeah.
everybody else hears
I
it.
got it.
I don't hear it.
I don't
'Cause
really
you
hear
got
it
that
either.
covering it up.
There's
Yeah, I
a-
hear it.
A dead
I can
something
hear it.
we're going by.
Ooh.
Oh, a
Yeah.
skeleton.
Do you
of
want to
some
zoom
kind.
on that?
We can pause here. Let's see. Bridge nav.
Did you want to zoom on the skeleton?
Let's hold position.
Zoom in there, Steve.
What are you? What were you?
Looks like type of mammal, right?
It's
Big.
That skull.
decent size.
Yeah.
Dolphin?
2 meters? Maybe a little longer, 2.5 meters?
I'm not up on my dolphin skeleton identification.
Is that what you think it is, a dolphin?
That's my guess. I don't know though.
Yeah, I'd be able to tell you if you could see the whole skull. The trunks are very distinct on their dolphin skeletons. I don't know if you see a spot for where a melon would be or not on their head.
How about now? I changed some settings. Do I sound any better?
Well, it's not when you speak, so it's when anybody else speaks, we hear our voices. A little bit of a faint echo. And it goes away when you're muted, so that's my only logic.
That would be me then.
Yeah. And your headphones are not, I mean, it's a silly question, but they're over your ears, they're not around your neck or anything?
That is correct. That's what I was just checking, making sure they were tight.
Sorry, I'll come around to the other side.
The little poacher.
Cool. Dolphin fall. Or maybe it's a whale. Tiny whale. Or a seal?
Those
Something on the science chat.
Zoom in there, Steve.
Yeah, those two.
two guys to the bottom look kind of like,
Yeah, they look like
Zoom in.
whatever they're called.
That's good.
Tusks
Good,
or
good.
talons, or I don't know, what's the word for it? Teeth.
Pick one up, put it in the box.
What else could it be?
Yeah.
Zoom in there a little. This must be some kind of seal then, eh?
That's what I'm kind of thinking. But
I don't think dolphins have tusks, do they?
Not that we, except for a narwhal. That's a tooth.
It's a tooth. It looks like a seal. They got some big teeth. Like a dog canine.
I'm trying to do some Googling over here, see what I can come up with.
I think we got some good zooms. The marine mammal specialist will be able to tell us more.
Absolutely.
Continue on our way.
I think so.
You pull up the DSC real quick.
Roger.
See if we're I need to do it back away a little, or is that getting it?
That's good.
Yeah, we're getting some high resolution digital stills there too, so
Nice.
should be framed up good. They got both the tufts in there.
Yeah, towards the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. So look all right, Steve?
Yeah, it looks all right. If anything, you could back up and put a little more in the center frame, but
All right. So another 30 seconds here for the camera to cycle
yeah, it looks good there.
while the vehicle's not moving.
That looks good.
Ease off on the vert so it's not shaking.
Captured.
That was it. Okay. I'm gonna have a couple good still photos there.
Excellent.
Bridge nav. We can resume 300 meters, bearing 080. Thank you.
All right, so we're doing another test now. I turned down the volume on the headset. Let's see if that works.
Check, check. Test.
That sounds pretty good.
It sounds better.
Yeah.
That sounds
So
great.
It
Yes.
must be bleeding through the headset.
It must have been. Can you hear us okay still?
Yep,
All right. Great. Thank you for that.
you're welcome.
So do you think that's when there's sort of a microphone in the headset and the laptop, and both of them are picking up?
No, I think that was just like Tom just said, his microphone, which was hanging probably near his chest, was just picking up some of the sound bleeding out from his headphones.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Yeah. Makes sense.
That's my guess, because the only thing I did between this and the last one was turn the volume down.
So Liz Clark is suggesting if we do this run to the east and don't come across any more patrols, is it might be time to head back south parallel to the line that we ran on the way up here.
Sure.
And hope that we come across some more of those piles heading south again.
Yeah, we can do a parallel line, and then if that doesn't yield anything, we can go over to the other side, west of our line, and do a parallel line up there, and then I'll cover pretty much this whole section up here.
It's a bottle.
Out of the bank of banks.
Yes, they have disappeared a bit. How far is this run east? What's our distance we're going to travel?
We can stop at any point. I have it just set in right now for 300 meters, but anytime we kind of get over the hump here and we're not seeing what we're seeing, we can get back and go down southwest or southeast.
I was just going to suggest, Abby, if we wanted to do a transect, if it was 200 meters, we could just run a transect while we're running.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Good idea.
Sure, we're set up for it. So, Taylor Ann?
Yep. Let me just get that typed out. Okay.
This is 5?
Yep, transect number 5.
Got it. Thank you. You want me to speed them up a bit? Bridge nav. Increase speed to 0.5. Thank you.
That, I think, was a Dover sole.
It was.
Staying on these cruises with you and Erica, Tom. I remember thinking it would be completely impossible to identify flatfish because they're all just brown and look the same. Petrali. Singleton. Tom, do you know if there's any way other than that's the size to tell if you're looking at a male or a female petrali?
Not from video, no.
Okay.
We would have to take an image, catch the fish, make sure it's a male or female, and then do that multiple times to see if there's any differences.
Right.
Because what they look like on deck isn't necessarily what things look like underwater.
Yeah, I have the massive survey fishes guide, and I think a lot of the photos in that are from trawl survey specimens, and they do look quite different from what we see on the AUV images.
Yep, that's one of the issues with doing these visual surveys is we have to try to figure out, like that rockfish right there, the one with the white dots on it. It's hard to
Unidentified
figure out exactly.
Sebastomus.
Yes, they would just be a Sebastomus. Because to look at the characters you need, you really need them in hand.
Hmm.
Unless we zoom in on fin rays and things like that, which is difficult to do when you're moving along.
Hmm. Hagfish.
Bridge nav.
So we just passed a ruby-nosed Bertula.
Increase speed to 0.7. Thank you.
What is a Bertula?
It's a type of fish that's kind of like an eel pout. But it's one of these fish that... Oh, I heard, like something good?
No, well, I saw something on the bottom and I thought it was a poacher, but I thought, oh, well, maybe that's the Bertula, but I think maybe it was just a poacher.
Yeah, that we did pass a poacher, but the Bertulas they're similar to like an eel pout, but these ruby nose, we hadn't ID'd them till I think 2018 on the express cruise, because they hide under these rocks when you come by. And so they basically will be just under the edge of one of these overhangs of a rock. They're about 10 centimeters long and they just sit there. And then every once in a while they're out. And that was what we got on the express cruise. We were able to zoom in on it and actually see what the fish was.
Nice.
Most of the time you just see a head sticking out or a tail or something. But I hadn't seen one on this whole expedition till just now.
Didn't we spot one on one of the previous dives? A little guy sticking out under the rock, and one scientist said they were going to make a note for Tom. So
That sounds familiar.
That may well have been.
It was a little, yeah, little.
I think they thought it was
Yeah,
something,
they're kind of
and they changed their mind when we got a closer look.
There was a
but
note.
that's exactly what it would be. It would be something just poking their head out from under a rock.
Yeah, we zoomed in on it, and there was a note made in the science chat, I think.
Well, we go back through the videos. I will take a look.
I can't remember when it was, though. They're all kind of blended together.
I don't remember either.
Given yesterday or months ago.
It was
Definitely a recent dive. I do remember.
definitely a recent dive.
We saw a baby fish.
With who was on with that one? It was Lizzie and
Lisa and
Lisa and
Meredith?
Meredith. Yeah.
Yeah, Meredith, I think she was there when we ID'd it, so she probably would be excited to see it again.
Yeah, I think it was her that mentioned you and the little fish hiding under a rock.
That's me. I look for the little things. Big stuff's easy to find.
It was like a little, was a grayish color, wasn't it?
Yep. That's usually what they are, kind of a bluish gray color.
Yeah, it's a teeny
Well,
guy.
if I see
Could
another
just
one,
see
I'll
his
try to
little
let you
head.
know.
I just looked it up on FishBase and it's got a very disappointing line drawing, no photo. Another little spot prawn. So how long have you all been out at sea now? I bet one dive does start to merge into the next.
Triple digits on the days.
Yeah.
Oof.
Same.
Is it very different this year that during the pandemic? Are you having less shore time than usual?
No short time.
0 short time.
No.
Can't even get off the boat.
And we all spent 2 weeks quarantining close to the ports where we got on. And I've only been on 20 days or so.
What's life back in like back in civilization? Normal or crazy or somewhere in between?
It's pretty much like we're quarantined at home.
It's not definitely not as extreme as on the ship, but it's definitely been unusual. I don't know if the forest fires had already started by the time you all got on the ship, but that felt like double lockdown for a while because the air quality was so bad you couldn't sort of even open a window. But that's cleared up for us in Seattle at the minute.
Yeah, I quarantined in Seattle right when it rolled in pretty bad. And so
Oh,
going outside wasn't an option, really.
mm-mm.
You go out and your throat would be kind of, I don't know, you'd get the inhaling the smoke and everything. Wasn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah, where I am, I live in Salinas,
Either way.
which is about midway, kind of in the middle of Monterey Bay. And we had fires in Santa Cruz to the north and fires on the hills to the south. And so we were inundated with smoke for like 2 weeks. It was a bummer. We could do nothing.
What's it like driving in those conditions? Do the car air filters do a good job, or does it get bad air quality inside the vehicle as well?
We didn't really drive very much because just going outside, your eyes would water and you'd start to cough.
Just go into the car or something?
Just go into the car,
Jeez.
just like going to get the mail, doing anything.
Jeez.
And right there, that rockfish is a dark blotched. And one of the things about Santa Lucia Bank is it seems to be it's not really the southern distribution of them, but it is the most abundant area to the south because they're a northern rockfish. So every time we survey, there just seems to be a lot of those. This is the first one I've seen, but there's a lot of those on this bank. And there's another one. But walking around like we couldn't go outside or do anything. We were basically stuck inside with the windows closed and just sitting around. Go ahead.
I was going to talk about Halloween prep, but also I think we just went over an unidentified sponge that we were calling the mucus bomb on Express because of its uncanny ability to produce so much mucus when we got it back on board. It's interesting to see that it's at this location as well. So this, I think during Express, we didn't take the ROV up onto this part of the bank.
Octopus?
Oh, where is he? Oh, I see it. Yep, I was going to say that's what people are thinking about at the moment is how are we going to do trick-or-treating during the pandemic?
I'm going to go to Safeway and buy a bag of candy and then take it home.
Eat it all at home.
Throw it from a window into the yard if any children come.
Do you have any costumes or supplies on the Nautilus?
Some people have planned ahead. And
Jolly good. Different types of cucumber here. Well, it's amazing how the science chat thins out at this time of night. I haven't done the 12 to 4 yet.
Yeah, I usually do the 4 to 8, and there's really not many people on at 4.
I bet. I haven't seen a Petrali for a while now.
I've only seen like maybe 4 or 5 on this transect.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Now that you say that, they're all going to show up, right?
Come on.
There's even a drop in the urchins. What?
Yeah. Help out.
That was the big fin.
Mm. Tom, I have a question for you. I've been meaning to ask for a while. Since all of the express cruises, what is it about sculpins that you particularly appreciate?
Like I said, I like little things. Nobody ever studies the little fish, or very few people do. So it's just all the little sculpins and poachers and protulas and all those things. Everybody, well, no one will pay you to study them, put it that way. So you basically have to just piggyback them on to
On
other
the
projects.
side.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's why, and it just, when I was doing fish counting off of videos, it would just be fun to try to find the little things, the sculpins, the gobies, all that.
Little
Because
cryptic
you can
guys.
see the 10 centimeter lasers, and you can find sculpins that are max size 10 centimeters. So you have to try to pick those little things out of the background. There's Petrali. 2, 3, 4.
Huh. 1.
okay, we can mark that as the end of transect.
There's another Petrali right at the end.
still heading in this direction, you can let me know when you want to do that parallel line, or if we want to just keep going here now that we're seeing a few more.
What do you think, Tom? We've got a couple of hours left. Should we? Oh, there's another one.
So how long would it take to get back to that point? Or are we just going to run a parallel line back to that point?
Which point?
So where did you want to go, Abby, if we did a parallel line, or just as
If we
far
did
as
a
we could
parallel
get?
line, yeah, as far as we could get back south.
And there's not really much indication about the north points, 1C, and it's anyone's guess.
And we're thinking of, yeah, just, so C was a potential target if we were seeing no petrale and we wanted to go and see if we could collect some sponges and corals.
Okay.
But given that we have been seeing the petrale piles but further south, the feedback on the science chat was that maybe we turn around, we do a parallel line heading back south.
Sure. So do you want to stop going east right now?
Yes.
Bridge nav. Let's hold position. Thank you. And if we go kind of roughly parallel to the last line, we will be approximately 200 meters east of that line. That will be running parallel line. Does that sound good to you?
We could run, yeah, we could run a line though, instead of parallel, we could run it back toward the line until we get to 100 meters.
So you get to 100?
You know, just kind of run in a diagonal.
Yeah, sure, we can do that. So we could just go south then, or something like that.
But before we start to move,
Yeah.
did Taylor Ann want to get some urchins? I think I saw that earlier in the chat.
Yeah, whenever a time is good for that, it doesn't have to be now. We could also wait till like before we pull the dive. It's up to you.
Well, we're stopped here.
Okay. Yeah, if we see like a little pile of urchins and collect like 3 or 4 of them, and then take a Niskin.
Is this a chimera or is this something else?
Yeah, this is a spotted ratfish.
Sorry, so my audio dropped out, so I missed what the decision was, whether we would do the urchins collection now or at the end.
Yeah,
Now's a good time.
now's fine. Yeah, I can also wait, but now would be okay too.
Light up the sticky fingers, Jake.
Roger.
How many of them do you need?
Like 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Patch of 3 or 4. Got it.
Ooh, nice group of 3 there.